Hey you guys, welcome back to the Horror with your host with the most, Jenna. Today I'm going to finally get around to talking about Tales of Halloween. I keep wanting to call it Tales from Halloween. So if I accidentally call it Tales from Halloween, you guys know what I mean. It's just me being me. And I'm pretty sure you guys can hear this. I actually have the soundtrack in right now. We're still on track one. Um, has 15 tracks on the soundtrack, so pretty awesome, pretty awesome. I have not listened to the soundtrack yet, so you guys are literally hearing it um, for the first time as I am too, besides, from watching the movie. So this movie, oh, I have to say, I love this movie. I do. I love it. Just a really, really good movie. I felt very good anthology movie. I know, not everyone likes this movie. I respect that. You guys know that. And if any of you guys don't like this movie, any of my followers, no worries, no worries. If you don't like it, no worries. But yeah, there's something about this movie, this anthology movie, that just I really enjoy. I do. Um, and it's really not anything like Trick or Treat, because I know a lot of times people are like, "Oh, if you love Trick or Treat, you're gonna love this movie." Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, other than like the stories taking place on Halloween night, really has nothing to do with Trick or Treat. Totally different from that movie. So I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, oh, if you love Trick or Treat, you're going to love this movie. Um, Not the case. Not the case. I'm not going to make that comparison at all. But this, I feel like this has some really good stories in here. Some stories I did definitely like more than others. But I feel like that's kind of like any anthology movie where I feel like people who love anthology movies and love certain anthology movies definitely have their favorites in these. I certainly did. Like right off the bat, the first two stories, absolutely loved. The first story entitled "Sweet Tooth," which is um, opens up the movie obviously, and um, this little kid just got back from like trick or treating, and he still has his little pirate costume on and everything. He's gobbling up his candy, and his like babysitter's boyfriend is telling him a story, trying to scare him and stuff. About this kid who grew up to be Sweet Tooth. Who backstory with Sweet Tooth is that when he was a kid, his parents would let him go out trick or treating and everything, but when he came home, they would take his candy and they're like, "Nope, can't eat your candy. It's gonna make you lazy. It's gonna make you fat." And they would do this like every year, I guess. And so this little kid, this little Sweet Tooth kid, one Halloween night after his parents took his candy away, kind of snuck down to see what do they do with it? What do they do with my candy? And there's the parents like just eating the candy and like making out and stuff. And it's like, dude, your kid worked all night for that freaking candy. You guys are just gobbling up and making out and rubbing that candy all over the place. Not necessarily rubbing the candy everywhere. Sounded a little more dirty than it needed to. So kid gets mad or whatever. Parents are like passed out on the couch, and he found a piece of candy that they hadn't eaten. Ate, took a bite, and like was obsessed with this candy. Like loved the candy. He'd never had candy before in his life until that moment, and he ends up eating like the rest of the candy, and then just still wanted more candy. So he ended up like gutting his parents, killing them, and like eating the candy that was in their stomachs. You gotta do what you gotta do for your Halloween candy. I'm just saying. Don't kill your parents, by the way. Don't, that, no. But, so he, does that or whatever, and he, that story kind of becomes like an urban legend of like, oh, save a piece for Sweet Tooth tonight, or else he's gonna come and kill ya. Like I said, babysitter's boyfriend's just trying to like scare the crap out of this kid. Well, the kid goes to bed. The girlfriend and the boyfriend are sitting downstairs watching TV and eating this kid's candy, and before you know it, they eat all this candy. So, the babysitter's like, oh crap, we need to get more candy. But first she goes to go get like the Pepto-Bismol so they can like not be sick or whatever. And as she's in the bathroom or whatever, her boyfriend is on the couch, just kind of like just laying there almost in like a candy como. Oh, can I not talk today? Just like literally just in a candy coma, basically. Comatose is what I was trying to say. Ugh. Once again, my brain's going way too fast for my mouth. So, he hears something above him and he thinks it's like the girlfriend or whatever. Looks up and it's the Sweet Tooth. So he ends up like Sweet Tooth shoves his hand down this guy's throat to get to his stomach and like pulls out like his esophagus or something. And the girl hears it and comes running, blah blah, and she sees that he's dead. She's like, oh crap, and then she's also worried about the kid upstairs, so she goes like running, I'm assuming probably to go check on the kid, and then we see in the doorway Sweet Tooth chasing after her, and Sweet Tooth gets her too. So Sweet Tooth goes upstairs to, I guess, see who else is in the house, get more candy, and he opens this kid's door, and this kid's like under the bed hiding. And luckily, though, for this kid, he put a candy bar like in front of his door, just because he was creeped out. He's like, okay, well, this is true. I'm gonna have a piece of candy on the floor for him so I can share and I can live. Thankfully, he did though, because like I said, Sweet Tooth came out to get more candy, and he saw the bar on the floor. So we see Sweet Tooth's hand grab the candy and then close the door, and the kid's safe. I don't know. I like that story. A pretty simple story, but I just, once again, the whole urban legend type story behind it. I love urban legends. Loved it. Good little story. And then the second story, which, like I said, I really enjoyed as well. The Night Billy Raised Hell. Sorry, I couldn't remember the title, the full title of the second story. And this one has Barry Bostwick in it, the segment, and another just fun one. So this little kid is trick-or-treating like with his sister and her boyfriend or whatever. The boyfriend's kind of like, just being an average teenage boy. He's like, oh, trick-or-treating, oh, let's go do pranks or whatever, let's go do some tricks, blah, blah, blah. And they come up to their, like, neighbor's house or something, and the guy, once again, is like, oh, this guy, watches you every year, he never passes out candy, he sees you throw a little bit, blah, blah, blah. Why do you think everyone always, like, tricks him every year and, like, throws eggs at his house and stuff? It's because of that reason. So he kind of dares this little kid to take an egg and, like, go egg his house, like, throw an egg at his house. So the kid goes up very, like, slowly, because, he doesn't want to do it. He's just like, ugh. He wants to be cool for his sister's boyfriend, and, so he goes up, and he, winds his arm, and just as he's about to throw, you see this, like, adult hand grab the kid's hand and takes the egg out of the kid's hand, and, it's Barry Bostwick, like I said, and it's kind of like, oh, what are you doing, and he scares off, like, the sister and the boyfriend. In the process, he throws, like, the egg at the boyfriend just to kind of get even, and then, the little kid is just, scared out of his mind. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, oh my god, I'm sorry, I didn't mean, I'm sorry, but, Barry Bostwick's character's not having it, pulls the kid inside the house, ties him up to a chair, and he takes off his hat. Barry Bostwick takes off his hat, and you realize, oh shit, the guy's, like, actually the devil, like, he's legit the devil, and he's like, I'm gonna, show you a prank, I'm gonna show you pranks tonight. So, cuts to Barry Bostwick and this kid in the same costume as Billy, this devil mask and everything. Presumably, we're thinking it's Billy, because he's like, he said he's gonna show him some tricks, and so all around town, Barry Bostwick, the devil, and this little kid are like wreaking havoc. They're like stabbing people. They're shaking people. Like they shaked this like dentist who gave the kid like a toothbrush and toothpaste. Was like, oh, candy causes cavities. So guy gives him that, closes the door, and then Barry Bostwick comes up and is like, takes a knife and like takes the toothbrush and quickly just makes like a makeshift little like shank, and he's like goes to the kid, faces him, goes like mimics, So kid rings the doorbell again. Guy opens the door and is like, what? And boom, right in the crotch. I think it looked like he got him right in the crotch, not stomach, right in the crotch. So. And then, so the whole night wreaking havoc and everything, all this stuff, set fires and all this, and, so, the devil and this kid come back to the house, and you see little Billy still sitting in the chair, and you're like, wait, what? Like, you were just wreaking havoc, like, what the kid's like, oh, so the other little kid that was with the devil takes off the mask, and you see it's like a literal spawn of Satan. And the kid's like, I thought you were gonna show me a night of tricks or something, or a night of pranks or something, or show me what a prank is. And he's like, oh, well, I just did. So I untied the kid, gave him his mask back on, and Billy puts his mask back on, steps outside, just as like a flood of cop cars come racing up. Cops coming out, drawing their guns and stuff, like, stay where you're at, stay. And this kid's like freaking out, and he realized, like, oh shit, like all this havoc's going on, and I'm getting blamed for it. It wasn't even me. So, poor little kid, serves you right for doing pranks. But yeah, those are probably my favorite. And there's also another one, Friday the 31st, which is a total homage to like Friday the 13th and a little bit of like the Evil Dead, I feel. One of my favorite little characters in that is after this like rip-off Jason kills this girl in a Dorothy costume, there's a spaceship up above in the sky, like goes down. It almost reminded me of like Jason Goes to Hell when they shot down the ray of light from the UFO. I don't know why, whatever, but, so it shoots down this little, like, this tiny little guy, and, UFO flies off, and there's a, little thing or whatever, just, trick-or-treat, 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 the cutest little thing. I want one of those little guys, I do. I would totally take care of little trick-or-treat guy, just to look over at him and hear him go, trick-or-treat, trick-or-treat. Cute. I can't get over that little guy. Cuter than my little peanut, I'm just saying. But anyway, so, this Jason, fake mock Jason's like, like, he's like, just gets annoyed with him and, like, ends up, like, stomping on him and killing this little thing. And, that's a shame, because, like I said, he was a little cutie. And, we see this, and sorry, like, if I'm gonna be, like, sipping on my tea quite a bit, I'm sorry, I know that's rude, but I'm thirsty. So this little, like, pile of clay, like, kind of, like, wraps itself up and, like, shoots itself into this dead girl's mouth and kind of, like, possesses her, and she comes up and totally reminds me, this is where it reminds me of, like, the Evil Dead, because, like, she's all, like, possessed and demonic and everything, her eyes are, like, bright glowing green and everything, just like literally going like this, chasing, not even chasing, almost like literally pretty much like floating and dragging the tips of her toes towards him, trying to get to him. And then like total like bloodbath as these two trying to like kill each other, like just gallons and gallons and gallons of blood. Like I would say probably like if you were watching this, it's one of those scenes where you're like, okay, that's like 30 gallons, way too much blood, but I loved it. Fun little story, fun. So those are just some of the stories that I really enjoyed. And I also too love Adrian Adrian Bardot's character because she's in this and she's like the uh, radio personality, like the radio DJ or whatever. Very much reminiscent to her role in The Fog. I think um, I want to say that's probably an homage, like a direct homage to her role in The Fog. I'm assuming, I would think, I don't know. Um, I mean, it's almost too identical. Even the way she kind of speaks, that very um, like low raspy voice that she can do. Like it's almost like identical. So I'm thinking it had to have been like an homage to her character in The Fog, like I said. So in it, like that's just kind of almost like part of like the like wraparounds and stuff, kind of like introduce some of the stories and everything, so that way, you kind of know like when some of the stories are ending and some of them are beginning and stuff. So not like a huge role, and not definitely isn't necessarily like detrimental to like any of like the individual stories. Like I said, it's just more of like a loose wraparound to some of these stories and stuff, and like to the bookends to the movie. Um, God, there's so many good stories in this too. And like I just finished up with most of the features. I got all the extra like short films, and the short films are actually like nothing to do with like the actual movie Tales of Halloween. It's all like stuff that were like maybe like little side projects from like the other directors in this that were involved in this movie and everything, or part of like other projects. But it was really cool to check out and everything. So the one that I really liked that probably easily could have fit into Tales of Halloween was, and I know this was made back in 2011, this short, but was it The Halloween Kid? Yes, The Halloween Kid. I really liked that story. So if you guys get a chance to actually purchase this copy, like I said, it's $34.99 on Amazon. I mean, just with all the stuff that's in here alone, I think it's worth it. But if you guys do get a chance to actually pick this up, definitely check out The Halloween Kid. I probably is my favorite little short film extra feature on here by far that I've checked out. Like I said, I watched all the bonus short films. I haven't watched all of the bonus materials yet, and I haven't checked out like the commentary or anything yet. I will eventually. So maybe once I kind of finish with like commentary and like all the other extra bonus features and stuff, I might have like another video about this movie. Or even just at least like the commentary itself, because that's something I've been thinking of doing, is like talking about like commentary to different movies, like Sleepaway Camp and stuff, or like The Goonies, because it's actually like, I don't know how many of you guys actually check out like the commentary for movies, but it's pretty fun, especially if you're wanting to watch maybe a movie again, but you're like, I don't know, like whatever, I just watched it, or I've seen it a million times. Check out the commentary for like any movie, for especially your favorite movies. You should. But anyway, back to Tales of Halloween. But yeah, this whole like like I said, I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I feel, my own opinion, definitely one of the better anthology movies out there. Like I just watched within like the last month, just watched the movie Holidays. Honestly, I wasn't like a big fan of that movie. What else? There was another movie that I checked out. I think on like Amazon Prime or something. I've seen actually a couple between like Amazon Prime and like Shudder and Screambox. Some are like really low budget. Some of them are like decent, not like in love or anything with them. Others were just like Holidays. Like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of that. So it's like when I see something like this, to me, I really enjoy it. Like I said at the beginning of the film, I know not everyone's a fan of this movie. Part of me, I'm kind of like, well, like what anthology movies have you seen? Have you seen like 3 of them? Like, but I'm not gonna hate it. You guys know me. I'm not gonna hate on anyone who may not like this movie. Because once again, that's what I love about a lot of you guys that watch my channel, is there's stuff that I love that you guys don't like, and vice versa. But there's still quite a bit of stuff that it seems like a lot of us kind of like commonly love or dislike. So, but like I said, I'm not gonna hate. I'm not gonna hate. You know. But yeah, like I said, I love this movie. Very enjoyable. Like I said, I watched it. Was It had to have been Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night, Christmas Eve. And then I just watched it again today, and it's still, like, really enjoyable. There was a couple of things that I, like, you know, I kind of, like, discovered on the second viewing that I kind of didn't catch the first time. Just because, I mean, I was, you know, you guys saw I had a couple of ciders and stuff, and plus I had worked that day, and then coming home, spending time with family and stuff. So there's, you know, I was a little tired, so I knew I missed quite a few things. That's why I took so long on reviewing this. But yeah, it was very enjoyable. Another one actually, as I'm looking at the back, sorry, another one that I kind of really enjoyed was the ransom of Rusty Rex. Just because that little like creature in there is so like, oh, it's a little creepy, like. It looks like a demonic, like, 80-year-old man. Like, I would show it to you, like, I don't even know right here. Like, you guys can't really see it all that well. I know it's, like, it's a pretty dark picture to begin with. But it looks like a demonic 80-year-old man. It just cracks me up with, like, funky teeth. That one was kind of fun because, these two, like, con artists, I guess, are trying to kidnap what they think is a kid to a like billionaire CEO or something. So like, all right, we're gonna get some ransom money, blah blah blah, awesome, and so they follow this kid around trick or treating and stuff, and then they finally kidnap him, and they call the dad, and they're like, hey, we got your son, blah blah blah, we just want some money, and like the dad hangs up on him, and they're like, he just hung up on us, like what the. So they call him back and they're like, dude, we just told you we have your son and you just hung up on us. So they're kind of like really confused, and then soon they realize this little, what they thought was a kid is actually a little demon and everything, so they're like chasing after it, it's chasing after them, trying to kill them, they're trying to kill it, and so eventually they call this, like, you know, kid demonic thing, whatever's father, and he's like, newsflash, it's actually not even my kid. This thing showed up like 5 Halloweens ago. It's been holding my wife and myself, you know, hostage basically. So he's pawned himself on you guys now. So he's your problem now. They even tried to like return him to the house, but I think they even like lit him on fire. But it just, like, made its way back. Like, they were driving, you know, they're just like, let's just keep driving. They stopped at a little, like, gas station, rest stop, and the one guy gets in and, like, looks in the back, and there's this thing just eating a candy bar, just looking at it like, fucking thought he got rid of me, huh? Huh? Yeah? And then he picks up, like, his buddy's head and, like, gnaws off the ear. Like, he decapitated his friend and is just, like, eating his ear and everything. It cracked me up. So little things like that that I really enjoyed about this movie. I feel like there is definitely a story or two for everyone in this movie. I'm sorry, I don't know why I feel like you keep having to do that. I'm just gonna pet it. That's weird. But no, I honestly, I feel like there is a story or two that everyone can really like, you know, no matter which one it is of the original 10. I think there is something for everyone in here. You know, like I said, I just pointed out, like, you know, 4 of the original 10 that I really kind of enjoyed. You know, there's others in here too that were pretty enjoyable too for me. None of them were like, you know, I wasn't really like, oh my god, that, you know, like I said, some of them are better than the others, but even the ones that I wasn't like that huge on, I'm still like, not bad, you know. So, but yeah, so that's just my little take there on Tales of Halloween. Let me know what you guys think of this movie, whether you liked it or hated it. You know, let me know what you loved about it, or let me know what you hated about it, or both, whatever. I know a lot of you guys are like me, but there are some movies where you're like, I really like this about it, but I hated this about it. So let me know. I want to know. And don't worry, I'm not going to troll anyone. I'm not going to like, whatever. You guys know how I am. But yeah, let me know. Let me know. And then until next time, you guys, with who knows what I might be talking about next or when I'll be seeing you next. But till then, you guys stay creepy and classy and a little bit sassy, alright? You guys take it easy.